Dating back to the Frieza arc, there was a moment in the manga and anime of Dragon Ball in which Krillin himself had a chance to possibly kill Frieza with his Kienzan, also known as the Destructo disc. And this has made a lot of Dragon Ball fans wonder if that move would have actually killed Frieza if it hit a more vital area of his body. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to analyze all of this today and actually explain how this would have affected the Dragon Ball series. So let's get started. First of all, if Krillin sliced off Frieza's tail originally, in this scenario we have to make an assumption that Frieza's entire body is just as durable as his tail, meaning that if you try to cut his body or his head off, it wouldn't make a difference from his tail, as there would be no change in how his body resists being cut by the Destructo disc, also known as the Kienzan. And if the Destructo disc actually hit, the very first thing that comes to mind is Frieza being sliced by his own homing disc when he fought against Goku. It didn't kill him, but it drastically weakened him to the point where Goku had to give him his own energy just for Frieza to move. But what you have to realize as a difference from Krillin is that Frieza was already weakened by fighting Goku for so long, so when you add the fact that Frieza was cut in half by his own disc, it made his body even more useless because you have a tired body that's already being cut. So we have to specify exactly where Krillin hits Frieza other than his tail. And this would immediately prove that a torso hit wouldn't kill him directly, but it would do serious damage. And if Krillin cut off Frieza's head, it wouldn't kill him, but it would put him in even worse of a situation. And proof of this comes from Resurrection of F in Dragon Ball Super. Now, I understand a lot of you are going to say that I'm using future content to describe older content, but hear me out. Although Frieza's body parts were in complete pieces, they were somehow conscious and moving even after he was wished back, and this shows that his body can stay alive in ridiculous situations. So when you apply this back to Dragon Ball Z, it would tell you that if Frieza had his head cut off or his torso cut off, that he would still somehow be alive. So the next thing we have to do is talk about a mini what-if scenario that is extremely simple and linear to discuss. Based on timing, Krillin would have cut Frieza right before Piccolo arrived. So with the combined efforts of everybody, Frieza would have died anyways because of how close Piccolo was to getting there on the battle scene. And when you also factor in that Vegeta could have definitely have dealt with Frieza with a cut body, that also supports that Frieza had no chance of surviving even if he survived the actual impact of the Destructo disc. However, since we're basing everything on a linear Dragon Ball timeline, the androids would have come and killed everybody once Goku and friends would have traveled back to Earth. And there would have been no future Trunks because Vegeta's interactions with everybody on Namek would have been very different, as Goku would have never gone to Yardrat and Vegeta wouldn't have had an incentive to stay on Earth and probably would have just traveled in space. So this is a bad outcome, and all of this would have led up to Vegeta not having the same relationship with Bulma. But for those of you who believe that Frieza could somehow survive, I have a scenario for you. The only way Frieza could have possibly have survived this would be if transforming could somehow heal his entire body and regrow his entire torso or body from the neck down. But there's no evidence to suggest that he could do that outside of just his tail. And even if Frieza could do it, it would just be a similar scenario to what originally happened, and he would just give the Dragon Ball characters problems in his next two forms. The only difference would be is that Frieza might actually kill Krillin earlier because of the fact that he would have been pissed off that Krillin actually managed to cut him in half, but the ultimate outcome wouldn't change if Goku managed to turn into a Super Saiyan and defeat Frieza on Namek anyways. So this would just be a small change in history. But the video doesn't end here, as the comment section is always an extension of the video, and let me know what you think would have happened if Krillin successfully hit a more vital area of Frieza's body. My final take on this is that Krillin wouldn't have killed Frieza, but it would have injured him enough that the Dragon Ball characters would have found a way to actually stop Frieza earlier. But that's been my video for today, guys, and please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys.